Here we are in our last page of notes on page 20. I look at the equations for 3 and 4. I notice something is missing on each of them. When I look at this equation, I have to figure out, I only see one number. Is that number the slope, or is that number the y-intercept? This equation has a number in front of the x. So back to my formula, y equals mx plus b. That means that number is the m. That is your slope. So what is the missing invisible number behind this equation? What is the additive identity that when you add it, nothing happens to the terms in front of it? The additive identity is 0, which means this y-intercept is 0, 0, the origin. First, plot your y-intercept. Then use your slope to plot the other points. I'm going to rise 3, run 1. Repeat that 2 more times. Then I'm going to go down 3 and left 1. Repeat that 2 more times. And we've graphed this line. It just happened to go through the origin because the y-intercept was 0. Number 4, the 3 is not next to an x, which means it's probably this constant at the end. Your y-intercept is 0, 3. The number in front of the x would be the slope, and if you don't have any x, that must mean that there are 0 x's. One more time, f of x is replaced with the y. So what we're looking at is the equation for y equals 0x plus 3, or just y equals 3. That means our slope is 0. When your slope is 0, we have an equation that's going to be horizontal. So first we're going to plot the point 0, 3, and then plot every point on this horizontal line. So I'm going to rise 0 and run 1. I could fill out this whole side, that whole side, or I could just take my ruler carefully. Know that every of these points are going to have the same y-coordinates. So I'm just going to do some of those points because I'm about to cover it over with my ruler and my line. That should probably do it. So if you just have a y equals a number equation, that's because this is a horizontal line. At the very bottom, we're going to do the last skill for today, which is how do we write an equation for a line when we see its graph. When it was point slope, we had several answers because it depended on which point we use. The one thing that's a great advantage of having slope intercept form is each graph only should have one y-intercept. So all of our answers should be the same because we're always going to find the same slope no matter where we find the slope on this line, and we're going to use the same y-intercept to make our equations. If you read the directions, we have to write our equation using function notation. So we're writing a slope-intercept equation. If it helps, let's first identify the slope and the y-intercept. Go from one point to the next. Anywhere on this line, I would go up 1, 2 to the right, which means our slope is positive 1/2. Our y-intercept is 2 boxes under the origin, so that's 0, -2. This is the first time we saw a y-intercept that's negative. And then let's put this together. Normally I would write y equals mx plus b. Two things that I don't like about that. Normally I don't like to say plus negative, so I could say y equals 1/2 x instead of plus -2, just say -2. The other thing I don't like about it is the directions. It says I can have to use function notation. So my final answer is going to look like f of x instead of the y. So f of x equals 1/2 x minus 2, and that's what I'm going to put up here on the line. I think you can try the next one. If you want to try that, go ahead. You can pause the video, and when you unpause it, I'll explain the answer. So if you pause the video first, we want to identify our slope and our y-intercept using any 2 points on this line. Find the rise and run. I'm going down 3 boxes and across 1. My y-intercept is at 0, -3. Put this together in function notation. F of x equals my slope of -3, x. Instead of saying plus -3, I'm just going to say -3. Okay? Now for exercise 3, our line is horizontal. Okay, that's a special line. The slope of every horizontal line is 0. The y-intercept is 0, 2. And this is a horizontal line, so it is a function. I can write this in function notation if I liked. F of x equals 0x plus 2. This is acceptable, but I feel like we can simplify it since I taught you in the previous page about Hoy Bucks on the first page, I think it was page 18, that we don't have to include 0x. We could just write a y equals equation. This is horizontal. Horizontal lines have all of their y coordinates the same, but also you can write a y equals a number equation. In this case, the y coordinate would be 2. So I could just say f of x equals 2, and this answer would be acceptable. It's actually the easiest way to do this. If you write y equals 2, that's good, but you're forgetting about function notation. So now here's the problem with number 4. Number 4 is a vertical line. And when I identify the slope of a vertical line, we have a problem. That u stands for undefined. And I'm not able to write y equals undefined x plus b. That's just not going to work out. So we got to scrap that idea. The only way to write an equation for a vertical line is to write an x equals a number type of situation, an x equals a number type of formula. What are the x coordinates of all of these points on this line? This point is -5, 0, -5, 1, -5, 2. All of these x coordinates are -5. This is the one exception I cannot write in function notation. I just have to write x equals -5. So this one is not a function, because if I ask it to give me a y coordinate for an input of -5, I would get several y coordinates, so I can't write this in function notation. Let's see what your homework looks like tonight. Page 21, you're identifying the slope and the y-intercept. I like you to write your y-intercepts as ordered pairs, starting with 0, comma, and then whatever your answer would be. Number 5 and number 6, you're trying to write an equation in function notation by first identifying the slope and the y-intercept. All's going well until we get to the next page. Question number 7, everybody needs to put a star next to this. This one is a tough exercise, and students generally get it wrong the first time they do it. So take a look, find the slope, find the y-intercept, write your answer in function notation, give me the equation of this line. 8, I notice this is a special type of line. 9, I notice this is a special type of line. And go to your one last page. You have 3 pages of homework up to page 23. 10 and 11, given a picture again, you're writing an equation in function notation, identify the slope and the y-intercept, then write the equation. In questions 12, 13, and 14, you're going to draw your graph. All of these equations are in slope-intercept form. One of them is in function notation. That should not be a problem. And then finally, you're going to evaluate expressions like find g of -5, f of 28, and h of -20 given these formulas. Just be careful to match the formula to its input. So you're going to plug -5 in place of the x's, and then you're going to evaluate it, and so on and so forth. I apologize for not being here today. If you still have any questions, please reach out. Your homework tonight is pages 21, 22, and 23. That's day 5 homework, section 5.3, slope-intercept form. Thanks for watching.